It's okay. So zone 00 from my personal perspective is very strongly linked to free diving and how we can use our breath as a way of calming ourselves. I'm a professional freediver who's been doing this for 10 years. It means that I go deep down into the ocean on one breath. So it's a kind of a cycle where you take one big breath and then you swim down into the depth, into the darkness. You're facing yourself, you're meditating, and then you're resurfacing, and it's somewhat like being reborn because you're coming back to life again. So it's a very strong from life to death perspective sort of within this. And I realized that I can use it in my everyday life. So even if I'm not underwater, I can always use breathing exercises to calm myself down and to make sure that I'm as little stressed or as little knotted up as possible. So my aim for this session is to enable a little bit of people care within each of one of you with just a small step. And the objectives is to just raise the awareness for the need of self-care, and the awareness of how that's connected with how we breathe. A bit of pattern understanding connected to that, and also to use one's passion for whatever that passion is to be able to heal yourself and using that love within you. So actually it's going to be a bit of participatory taking a big breath. How do we do that? You've been hosting very nice yoga mornings. Today I was too sleepy to come, but yesterday we were doing breaths. And as we breathe in and then breathe out, we can actually control that breath in a very stimulating way for the body. And since it's something that we do all the time, you can do it whenever. You don't need a break in a session or something. You can just take that big breath when you need it. So, as a freediver, we tend to relate to a big breath in 3 steps. First, your belly sort of expands, and then you move into your chest. And then the upper part of the chest and your throat. That's a full breath. So put your hand on your stomach and try to breathe in. You can stand up if you like. Feel your belly going out, and then there's a wave movement as you expand your chest. The belly goes inward a little bit and the chest expands. And then you stretch your arms a little bit backwards, allowing to really open up the chest. Lean your head a bit backwards to get that full flow down your throat as well. And so without that much explanation, belly, chest, lungs, top. That's a big breath. And as you release it, you hear me going. We have a little lid here in our throat, which is controlling the flow of air. So try to make this sound. If you use that lid to control the flowing out of air. You're pressurizing the air a little bit as it goes out. That means your body can take up more of the oxygen within that air. And so with an increased oxygen level in your blood, your body performs higher. You stimulate your brain functions. You stimulate your whole system. So just by doing that, breathing and letting it out with a half silent if it's during a session, will stimulate you as a person to be more awake. And it also calms you down. So I use this as a tool to wake up, but also as a tool if I need to just get my mind focused in one thing. So it's very connected to yoga, to meditation, to being aware of the here and now, and how our body is, well, how we are our bodies. The nicest thing to do, the most relaxed way, is actually to lie down. And like the glory or the holy grail is when you're able to lie down in water face down, because then you're actually held by the water and you can totally relax. So we could do later on at some point a short session in the pool if you want, on how to hold that big breath and just feel your body, feel how your pulse is throbbing in your ears, how your stomach starts to react on the high levels of carbon dioxide within your body. But that's the second session, so that's a cliffhanger. Yeah. Questions? Have you thought about breathing and how you can use it? For example, as a yoga teacher, how do you work with the breath?
I can do exercise at the beginning of the class when I was with inward. At the end of the class to realize yourself of the difference between before and after the session. You feel more deep your emotions after the session, no? And it changed the velocity of your breath.
Yeah.
It's more deeply, no? After the session.
Yeah.
And you are a little bit empty in your brain.
Yeah. So it's, yeah, sort of flow releasing.
I just remember an exercise from the Dragon Dreaming workshop where John is explaining about, I think it was in the session about charismatic speaking, and then he did an exercise before, like just if you just stand anyhow, it's easy to push you away. But if you try to get really grounded and work consciously with the breath, it's very hard to push you away from the place. And that's somehow one of the basics to then be able to speak charismatic and not just, I have an idea, but I don't know, and nobody maybe listen to me, but it's like that. But really, like, I have something to say and you're gonna listen to me. So,
Love that connection.
Yeah, I find that sometimes when I get excited about talking in public or whatever, going back to my breathing and feeling the movement of life through breathing, it helps me to connect and be more grounded. It's a really powerful tool.
So you all know this, and I guess then the purpose of this exercise is just to bring it up into the awareness, into the how can I use it when I need it, so that it's a tool ready to be used. It's sharp, it's there, it's well oiled. It's not something that you need to sort of think about, grabbing the back end of the tool shed and first look at to remember what it is. You can make it into a tool which you can use almost without thinking about it, just like using a knife and fork. You just do it.
Yeah, and sometimes I think we all do it unconscious after a moment of shock, and then
Yeah,
it's over.
yeah,
Everybody knows that.
yeah. So connecting it also to the health of our community, there's a lot of stress-related sicknesses and illnesses of today, which comes from very shallow breath. Women who get these tingling perceptions within their bodies because they've been so stressed from being home with their children and trying to overperform. That's something very common in Sweden, for example. And it's that shallow breathing reflects into your body and your whole being. So sitting with it, not even having to just, but actually holding it for a bit. Yeah. Cool. Thank you for being here. So use your